Peter Obi is starting to fire at Bola Ahmed, Tinubu, Wike, and all the brigade of crooks that surround them. And the rest of Nigerians for the next 2 years, the rest of the progressives in Nigeria must start to fire at these people. They are crooks. In 2027, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is either moving back to Isaleko or he's moving back to wherever he came from in Osun State.
Anyway, Sha, this is where we are. Tunde Ednot says, Peter Obi or nothing. He says, Peter Obi or nothing. And let me tell you something, this is not the time to be politically correct, oh.
So, Tunde Ednot says, Peter Obi or nothing. From all indications, Aisha Yesufu is saying Peter Obi or nothing. I want to go one step further. It's not just Peter Obi or nothing. It's Peter Obi with Datti Baba Ahmed as the running mate or nothing.
Kaikene Fred Wanko Ezudo Ezinwafo si ajalebia Publisher African Lifestyle Magazine Chicago Wanfo ndi Chicago Jemba Onya chukwu gosi Amano kpara nwe ihe ga imelu Yola let me change I'm a lady what idea one with Arabazo. Hey! That's where you know.
Oh yes. Anambra na Imo State na Ebonyi, na Enugu, na Abia, na Delta, na ndị Igbo nọ n'Ikwere. As a matter of fact, in the rivers, Nanda Akwa Ibom, Nandi Bayelsa, Nandi Cross River State, Anambra and all those people, Hello everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. As Aisha Yesufu said, this is no longer time to be politically correct. This is time to hit the nail on the head the way it relates to Nigerian politics and let the chips fall where they may. One thing I always guarantee you on Bold Talk is we don't bring you fake news. We are not tribalistic, but we hit on tribal issues the way that it hurts. I don't give a damn if it hurts the Igbo man, if it hurts the Yoruba man, if it hurts the Fulani or any other segment of the country. As long as we're factual, you could take your prejudices and shove them where the sun don't shine. It's time to rescue Nigeria for Nigerians, for well-meaning Nigerians, Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, Fulanis, and all the people who mean well for Nigeria. For the tribalistic bigots and the cabal-pocketed Igbos and the rest of the cabal-pocketed Nigerians, I say you could kiss me where the sun doesn't shine. In 2027, it's Peter Obi or nothing. And it's Peter Obi with Datti Ahmed or nothing. And I say this not as an Igbo man, I say this as a Nigerian that wants to see a Nigeria that works for every Nigerian, not for the bigots and the tribalistic ones that want to divide and conquer a country that could be so beautiful yet it remains so insignificant, even in West Africa. So now, guys, why do the bigots and cabal-pocketed Igbos who support the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, why do they get upset when you say he's a drug dealer and a drug kingpin? Is there any lie to that? Do they take pride in having a drug kingpin as their president? They don't have to answer it. It's just food for thought. He's an election rigger. Do they take pride in having their candidate rig an election? Those are questions they need to answer, not me, because they keep inboxing me when I say these things. One promise we made is we're not going to lie, but we're going to state the facts. He's a state usurper. Since 1999, he has usurped the resources of Lagos State. And shamefully, some of the people who attacked me are from Lagos State. You're enslaved to a man who you go on pilgrimage to his office, to his house, or to his friends to beg for contracts that you qualify to do. Why do you have to beg? You're held hostage by a man who has no education, no educational qualifications. Everything is forged and fake. But you get angry when I say that that's who he is. What's the source of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's money? He's a multi-billionaire. What has he done? Even the work he did at Mobile, where he has a track record of working, how does that job qualify him, the income he earned there, to amass the wealth he has amassed? But you glamorize his Bodilon estate. You're fascinated by it. I'm not. I'd rather die poor than worship a rogue. Now let's deal with the other person. And why am I doing this? For all the people screaming that they want change, they want Peter Obi, they want change, they want a better Nigeria, you're fooling yourselves if you don't start telling the truth. You're fooling yourself if you don't start now to really dissect all the candidates. Dissect their source of wealth. They are very wealthy people. How did they acquire the wealth? All we want to see is a track record. I'm not saying they stole it. I'm not saying they didn't steal it. But let's see what the track record is. Because what you're teaching your young people is how to steal. And these guys have stolen and gotten away with it. Your children will attempt the same thing and either get hurt physically or be put away in jail for a very long time. Even if not in Nigeria, wherever they live. Because the only culture they are learning is the culture you are condoning, which is the culture of stealing. And if you're not condemning it, and you're criticizing people like me for condemning it, then you're condoning it. Make a choice. Then we go to the next person, El-Rufai. El-Rufai is saying all the right things today, no question about it. But where was he under President Buhari? Where was he when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was trying to be stopped by Nigerians, and he was one of the leading people that were fighting to get Bola Ahmed Tinubu elected as president? What went wrong? Why is Bola Ahmed Tinubu no longer that angel that El-Rufai told us he is? Then we go to the chief thug of Nigeria, El-Wufai, that denies his tribe, but that's a story for a different day. Very wealthy man. What has Wike done? He went to law school. Can anybody show me any significant law practice that made Onyesom Wike the multi-billionaire that he has become today? And for those people in River State that would die for him, how has your life improved? Because Onyesom Wike, one, is a multi-billionaire, two, has captured your state and your state resources. How has that changed your life? Then we go to Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President. My first significant recognition of him is as the governor of Akwa Ibom. He did a lot of work to improve Akwa Ibom. Don't get me wrong about that. He built Akwa Ibom, or started building it. But does that justify the kind of wealth he has amassed? And does that justify him becoming the toilet paper for a president who stole an election? The toilet paper that sits on the Senate to approve everything that comes through his desk from a president that's not qualified to be president. Are these the leaders we want in Nigeria? And then Rotimi Amechi, just like El-Rufai, he's now fighting on the right side of history, no question about it. My question about these people is they all have direct or indirect ambitions to be president of Nigeria or be kingmakers in Nigeria. How did they acquire their wealth? They are very wealthy people. Where did they acquire the wealth they used to run for president in the last election and the one they want to use to run for president this time? Brings me to my main point. It really doesn't matter how we get there. I'm not saying people cannot change. I'm not saying these people may not be conscientious, corrupt people from the past. Nigeria has no angels. We can't be seeking perfection, but we must make sure that we don't jump from frying pan to fire. We must make sure that we are making sure that the next president of Nigeria is not somebody who is coming in to continue on the path of embezzling, but just bringing in new players to help him embezzle. Many have their issues about Peter Obi. They should. I don't. I like Peter Obi unequivocally. He is the best qualified to be the president in 2027. If you have something about him, not divide and conquer crap and making up stories that don't exist. If you have facts that will make me change my mind and say, he's not who I thought he was, bring out the facts. But stop rewriting the history of Anambra State. As governor of Anambra State, I'm from Anambra, Peter Obi was an exceptional governor. Did he do everything that needed to be done? Maybe not. Nobody will ever do everything that needs to be done. But he set Anambra on a path of good governance and accountability. Never mind that the new people like Soludo have become toilet papers for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But Peter Obi cannot be seen as somebody who didn't do his best for Anambra State. And it's based on that best that he did for Anambra State and the antecedents he has in business and the antecedents that he has for honesty and righteousness that I say that he's the best thing for Nigeria in 2027. And to take that ride, I am saying to obedience, you must ensure that if Peter Obi is traveling that path to be president, that you're ensuring that he's riding that path to presidency with none other than Datti Ahmed. Because Datti Ahmed has shown that he is a man who is capable of working within a team in the best interest of Nigeria. And if power is going to be shifting between the South and the North, which Northerner can Southerners trust more than Datti Ahmed to ensure that if we take 4 years or 8 years or whatever it takes Peter Obi to set Nigeria on a good path, that we're not going to have a Northerner that comes back with a Northern Sharia Islamization agenda, but a Northerner who comes in to say, let's give to Caesar what is Caesar's and let's give to God what is God's. A Northerner that comes in and does a fair job in fairness and equity to all Nigerians. That's what Nigeria needs. And now to the bigots who are scared of a Peter Obi presidency. Is it that you're scared of a Peter Obi presidency, or is it that you're scared of an Igbo presidency? And on that note, if you're scared of an Igbo presidency, what's your reasoning for being scared of an Igbo presidency? Is it because Nigeria has been screwed for 50 years, led by everybody else? And you're scared that if an Igbo goes in there and rights the ship, your prejudice and your bigotry and your tribalism cannot stand the thought that Nigeria was set on the right path by an Igbo man. And the last time Nigeria was on the right path was in a government in Nigeria where Igbos played significant roles. We don't want to play significant roles to dominate Nigeria. We don't want to play significant roles to say, I told you so. That's irrelevant. We want to play significant roles in building a country that works for everybody. If Nigeria works, does it freaking matter who made it work? Isn't what matters the fact that Nigeria works and it works for everybody and everybody can be proud of a Nigeria that works? Isn't that what's important, as opposed to the myopic tribal interests that lead us nowhere? And for those of you whose goal is that it must be Tinubu, especially if you're from the Southwest, shouldn't you be ashamed of yourself that you stand upright to take pride in the policies of Awolowo? You stand upright to take pride in the policies of Jakonde. You stand upright to take pride in the leadership of Bola. And you are not ashamed to say that the man you are standing on his mandate today is a man that Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Bola and Chief Jakonde will spit on his grave if they were alive. It tells how contradicted you are. And I'm sorry to say, shame is your portion. And I pray that God leads you to a better way of thinking. If you have not liked the video, as a matter of fact, if you have not disliked the video, if you have not shared the video, if you have not left a comment on my YouTube channel not on my private inbox. Have the guts to write what you think, even if you disagree, so that other viewers can take part in critiquing what you write. If you haven't done so, what are you waiting for? Like the video, dislike the video, share the video, and leave a comment. By the way, one more thing. Until I record my next episode, I want to say a prayer for me. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Allen TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Hey,